Alrighty guys, g'day. Welcome. Apologies for the late start, guys. Just how I roll on Tuesdays and Fridays. Don't have much choice. Alrighty guys, enough of that. good morning, good afternoon, and as always, a very good evening. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another London session on this Tuesday. Doesn't look like I've missed out on much, to be honest. Just quickly having a look at gold. This is the first I've looked at the charts all day. Gold, absolutely nothing. GJ at a resistance. Good thing is it's broken it, but it's pulled back below it. So if we break again, I mean, GJ looks like it could be some good options for continuation to the upside. However, as per usual, I will do the full analysis on both GJ, gold, eventually GU and NAS as well, and probably EU. And if anyone else has any other requests, we'll happily take a look for you guys. So let's get cracking. Let's get straight into it, guys, so we don't miss out. For London Open, and as always, I will start with GJ. I will quickly remove these drawings, previous drawings, and we'll get underway. So looking at GJ the weekly, all right, so we now broken the high of the previous candle. So candle probabilities would suggest we have that higher low, higher high, and we should now really continue to the upside. Yes, we may make pullbacks within the weekly candle, but I'll be looking to the left to see where we could potentially pull back to once I go down to the M30 time frame to see if we form a support to continue up. Those levels of support in the M30 could also provide entry points to the downside. Reason being, if we are to continue bullish, we should respect those levels on the minor time frame and not break them. If we do break them, then we could make deeper pullbacks. Now at this stage, we should not really come back down to break our own low. Looking at daily, once again, structurally we remain bullish, and also we've got the previous daily candle closing a very strong bullish candle. So once again, suggests further continuation potential to the upside. Current candle has a higher low, higher high to the previous. So I'm just going to mark in both the high and the low of the current daily candle. We're likely going to have some options either side of that at the moment. Onto the 4 hour time frame, and as we can see, we've just broken above a resistance. Have we closed above it? I don't think we quite have. Just going to mark in that previous resistance. I will adjust on the M30. We have not yet closed above it, and we are currently rejecting. All right, I don't mind that. Again, I'm going to mark in support this point here. Don't have a bearish candle, but I'm sure it may be one on a different broker. Anyway, I'm going to mark that level in. All right, so there's the current daily low, current daily high. Above and below, we have some pretty clean traffic to the left. So that at this stage looks to be our potential trade levels. On to the M30. So back to the 4 hour, sorry, just quickly, we are technically bullish as well structurally. Now onto the M30. So the bias irrespective of the M30 time frame is to the upside. However, doesn't matter because the M30 time frame is also at the moment technically bullish. So now what I'm going to just do is I'm going to drag this across now. I'm going to incorporate the highest point. May just do that. So that's the current daily candle's high. And this is the low of the daily. All right. So let's see. We've got some support. We've got, the good thing is the M30. Well, you could argue it won't technically flip back bearish at this point until we really get that closure below the current daily candle's low. So I'm just going to change that to a blue zone. It's an M30 zone. All right, so the plan today for me on GJ is the bias is to the upside. We don't really have any clean traffic just yet to the downside. We do have some support that we are approaching just now. How many pips do we have? Not a great deal. 4.5 pips, 5 pips. So definitely not a trade option for me to take a counter and sell. So at this point, what I'm likely going to be doing is looking for price to pull back to grab some liquidity back at either point A around that 192.10 or a little bit further down around that 192.07. So I would like to see it tap into the support formed around the current daily open, form another support above it, and then look for my potential buys upon the catalyst forming at that level of support. Now, so I'm just going to put buys in above that level there. Now, as for further buys, obviously, like I mentioned before, the current daily, we have a high, low, high, high. We have broken that 4 hour resistance. We are currently pulling back below low. So if we do form that support, and I can't get in the buys from lower down, we begin to approach the highs, I will be looking for my potential buy options above the current daily candles high. How I enter the trade remains to be seen. Just depends how we approach that level. Would prefer, like I normally do, closures above. However, seeing we've already broken the previous daily candles high, we do form that support and begin to break our own high. There could be potential options as long as we're not coming from too far back into the range below. So that for me would be a potential buy option as well. Now I'm just going to want to mark in that 4-hour level on with at least horizontal, just to be aware that if we do begin to pull back below 192.10, we're technically back in that 4-hour range. If we start to close back below EM30, it would well come down a bit further. So that is the 4-hour level. That's why I'm going to keep that in. Now, as for further sell options, once again, guys, so right now I don't see it. There's just no margin. We could pull up. We're in a bull trend. We could pull up at any point, form another high low, or retest this support, which will not give you enough margin to sell it. So that point, what I prefer to see is either a nice clean move down to the support, and if it bounces off it to create that lower high, then I could potentially look for my sells from within this range. As long as it creates a clean move to cut through this clutter to the left, it opens this range up and makes it more tradable, in my opinion. So that is the first option I'll be looking for as far as sells. Now, as I said earlier, we have a high low, high high on the daily time frame, so we have absolutely no need to pull back and break the current daily candles low. If we do so, I'm not sure why that's lying up to, I'll just drag across to that point. If we do begin to break the current daily candles low, then what we'll likely do, we've got some pretty clean traffic to the left, we're likely to head back down a bit further to make a deeper correction. We would have flipped the M30 structure too by that point, so that coincides at a confluence. Once we break that current daily candles low, we get the closure in the M30, it will confirm a structure flip on that time frame to the downside. So then I'd just be waiting for that tap in and then continuation to potentially down towards that 191.80 and then 191.70. So for me, sells below would definitely be an option as well. So that's what I've been looking at. So for the time being, definitely focused on the buys on GJ. Just need to wait 11 and a bit minutes till London opens. So we've still got a bit of time, guys. In the meantime, I will take a look at gold. Don't forget to hit the like button as well, if you could, please, guys. I literally just got in and jumped straight on stream, so I'm trying my best to be here for you guys. All right. Gold onto the weekly. So similar to GJ, high, low, high, high, massive uptrend on gold. I have no need to pull back and break our own low. I'm not just going to mark that in. I'm not going to mark it in just yet because we are a fair way away from it. We'll mark in the high low. Obviously, price discovery once again will be creating a new all-time high if we begin to break it. So weekly is bullish, daily bullish. Previous candle closing not so strong though. It did close quite a weak candle. Look at that. Watch what I mentioned yesterday. If you haven't watched the start of yesterday's stream, I reckon you should do so. Just to see what I was talking about in regards to this pause and this wick. Anyway, back to the daily on gold. Previous daily closed bullish. Once again, little shows signs of exhaustion. I'm going to mark in the current daily candles low. If we begin to break the high of the previous daily candle, we will likely continue to the upside. However, we may pull back a little bit further, but I may be able to get involved in that pullback. I'll see what I got below the current daily candles low. Onto the 4-hour time frame. Once again, technically bullish. We won't flip back bearish really till we get closures below this support around that 2,267 roughly. So we've got a fair way off on to flip the structure back bearish. Just gonna mark in that level, and I actually closed bearish to form that resistance on a 4-hour. I'll eventually be marking the highs at some point. Also, let's support this point here and this point here. And now we'll go down to the M30 time frame. All right, so we're still hovering above this resistance. Now what I'm going to do is drag that up. Probably going to do something like that. Alrighty, guys, this is looking really good on gold. This is what I like to see. When I see this, it looks like we could have options as long as we have a bit of volume. So within the current daily candle, as I mentioned before, this is the low of the current daily. The previous daily showed signs of exhaustion, closing a weak bullish candle. Now we form support obviously at the current daily candle's low. If we are to continue bullish, as you often hear me say, what should we do? If we do come back down to the level, should respect it. Even if we pop below it, should just end up popping back above, closing above, and look for our potential buys from lower down around that 2,338 to level. So that would be a potential buy from support option on gold. So I will just mark that in for the time being. That will do, and that level there. Now, obviously, further buys, once we begin to break above the current daily candles high and start to pop above that resistance form yesterday at 2,340, 2,350 roughly. Honestly, a closure above that bearish candle in anticipation then that we're likely going to come up to retest the current weekly candles high and create potentially a new all-time high on gold. So I'm just going to put buys above. I would like to see a closure because technically you're not breaking out until you actually break the highest point of the uptrend, which isn't until the all-time highs at this point. Now, as for the sells, could we get a cheeky sell from this support? I doubt it. See what's the 4 hour look like again? Well, the 4 hour will be breaking its own low, rejecting that level. We could almost get some cheeky sells from higher up. If we start to close below 2,343 roughly, got the margin. We should have the margin to potentially take a cheeky little counter trend sell based off the fact that we're rejecting that 4 hour resistance yet again. And if we begin to close below it, tap back in, I may be interested in getting involved. Again, it's risky because it's against the structure, it's against the trend, it's in a massive uptrend. I would get to break even as quickly as I could if I was to look for that counter trend sell. What would make me more comfortable is if we came back down to the current daily candles low, like I mentioned before, retested it, start to close below it, tap into it, begin to pull away. We do have clean traffic to the left. At that point, I would feel much more comfortable looking for my sell option on gold today. So I'm just going to put that in. That's it. And that is the plan, guys. Done that in quick smart, didn't I? Leave a like. Yeah, it was a pretty good job, guys. So let's see the focus right now. I would say it's gold, to be honest. I think GJ needs to, at this point, I'm not keen on the sells. It's either wait for that pullback or buys upon continuation. I feel gold could provide an option. Surely we've got 6 and a bit minutes left until London Open. I want to see this candle start to close below, and then we could be in for some potential sells at London Open. Rejecting this 4 hour level again, essentially just consolidating at it. So as you guys know, as you guys are aware from the previous stream as well, I do not like to predict and trade out of consolidation because it could do just what it's done just then. Pop down, pop straight back up, tag you into a trade, pop straight back into the consolidation. So I wait for my confirmation. Simple as that. Now I can take a breath and say good morning, good afternoon to you, Emil. Hope you're well, brother. Sean, how was my Monday? Shit. Well, not shit, just nothing. There was nothing. I did not take any trade. I did not trade after the stream. Did obviously the NY update video, but did not stay on the charts because I had a very early beginning today. Had lots to do today. Family business, obviously. Steve, more into you. Emil, do I still use that? Yes, I do. IC markets. Also, 8 cap is another one that I use. Leon, morning to you. Good to have you back. And 54k for good morning to you, my friend. Leave a like. That would be much appreciated. Oh, just in general. Yeah, it was alright, man. It was alright. Just a standard Monday. Pretty busy, actually, but can't complain. What are we looking at today, guys? Joseph, more into you, and apologies. Tuesdays, there are no chart markups for London session. I just don't have the time. Tuesdays and Fridays, generally. So I've got just over 4 minutes left. Looking at GU quickly, I'm not going to do the full analysis. I might do it later on. I don't see any options just now. Got support. Yeah, I don't see anything right now on GU. Once you break resistance, you're running into, well, the current resistance, you're running into a 4 hour resistance. Once you break this support, you're running straight into the 4 hour support. So freaking on GU. EU looks okay. It's rejecting, looks similar to gold. Could possibly be in some sales right now. Yeah, EU just, again, without, I'll do proper analysis if I have anyone request later on, which I likely will. It's likely at this stage going to be buys above the high, buys from support, or sells below the support. Nas, I'll do a proper rundown later on, maybe closer to the closure of, or close to the end of the stream. Nas looks good for potential sells if it continues to reject this zone from yesterday. Form support at this point here. We reject, close below it. It could provide a sell option. Basically the same analysis as per yesterday by the looks of it. Buys above this, the resistance form towards the end of yesterday, same level as what we had marked in yesterday. Sells below it. Very simple. All right, so we've got just a little bit of time left. Right now, focus is gold. Sean? Just in, is there a prop firm that you can trade at? I've got to read this properly. I think you mean at all and make buy a percent, then you can buy a challenge and put the profits over. So you start with 5% buffer, so then you only need to make. I probably need to read that again, to be honest. So you're saying it's a prop firm that you can trade and make 5%, then you can buy it. So you make that 5%, then you pay for the challenge. And then you only need to make another 5%. Is that what, is that correct? Am I getting this right? Got it. You got me too. You got it. I think that's what he means. Just gonna chuck in a Zoom link. Just one sec, guys. Alright guys, I posted the link into the YouTube chat. Now, like I always say, this is, I open it up, anyone can jump on. If you're a dick, I'll just boot you out. So just, yeah, I share the Zoom link in good faith that you guys can come on and have a chat. Yeah, seeing we're pretty small community right now, but we're definitely growing. Had 13 new subs just from yesterday, so that's I was very happy with that. But it's all important that you guys, again, let the others know I'm out there, so make sure if you can just hit the like button. All right, so we're coming to London Open. Sean, I'll read that comment in a moment. Is there anything right now? It's a weak support on GJ. We just don't have the margin. There is absolutely zero margin. It's literally, once you count for spread, maybe 3 pips to the next support. Gold, not quite. Yeah, gold's just above support, so we're gonna have to wait probably for at least 15 to 30 minutes into London. See how we go, guys. Got time, it's all good. So we got the open, and gold is just pop down. We'll see. GJ, also I'll share with you a few interesting things I heard in the car when I was driving back about potential rate cuts moving forward this year in the US. Now, I think initially at the start of the year, the Fed were talking about potential for 5 rate cuts. Let's quickly look at the news. There's nothing about today, I don't think. Oh, all right. So yeah, just yellow folded news. Nothing really having much of an impact. So obviously, I think the markets are waiting for tomorrow, the big one with CPI. That is going to be huge, to be honest, because from what from what I heard today on Bloomberg, the rhetoric at the start of the year was for approximately 5 rate cuts. Now, what they're saying is that inflation has not really yet come down. So if the CPI comes out worse than expected, then they're not exactly going to be cutting rates anytime soon. So that could potentially be good for obviously the US dollar, strength of the US dollar, if the rates aren't cut, because obviously if inflation is not kept under control, means obviously people are still spending, so inflation will be continue to go up, which will mean they're not going to cut interest rates anytime soon. So I've heard some say that potentially 3, possibly 2, and some are even saying now that there might not be any rate cuts this year moving forward on the US dollar. Interesting to see how that affects the market. So I think the market's more so gold, and obviously the majors are probably waiting for the CPI to be released tomorrow. So we just have to wait and see in regards to that. Now GJ, fair distance to travel. See, why I measure it is because we got to travel more than 14 pips just to break the high. Look at these candles. If you want to measure these candles throughout the day, I don't think any of them are larger than that. I know we've got more volume at this point, but do you trust it? Do you necessarily trust it when every other candle so far today, this is the biggest one, and that's 13 pips. So just to get you involved in a trade, it's got to travel around 14 pips. It's not something I trust, in all honesty. So that means I need to wait for closures and just see where we're at. Just think logically, guys. You look to the left, and how many of these candles have got more than 14 pips at the moment? Not a great deal. So if that doesn't make you comfortable, you sit back and say to yourself, gotta wait then for a closure. Gold is doing absolutely nothing really open. All right, short phase 1, then 8% for phase 2. But best thing is you just keep doing the trial for free till you pass it. Then you transfer profits to the challenge account. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so you make 5% in a free trial, then transfer it over to challenge account. Sounds good. Tommy, morning to you, brother. Hope you're well. Josh, sorry man. Yeah, busy Tuesdays and Fridays. I have no choice but to start a bit later. Sean, I don't trust GJ at all. It's not I trust it. It's not trending. That's the thing. It's in an uptrend, but while we're on the charts, it hasn't been trending. It seems to trend more so during NY. I mean, that was London, that was Friday. However, everything else is just basically NY. All the moves seem to come later on, or even Asian. This is Asian session. That was NY yesterday. Most of the time London's just been consolidating. So yeah, it doesn't make it easy, but just means you need to practice patience and discipline. Just gonna remove that from the time being. Oh, had our first taste of winter here today. Wasn't pleasant. 16 degrees. Once again, guys, sorry to harp on, but if you can, much appreciate if you can hit that like button for me. You're doing nothing as well. All right. I'll remove that for the time being. Let's do the GU rundown. As I mentioned, it's awkward right now, so it's consolidating. I think GU needs to cut through this consolidation, make a clear move down, form a support for potential buyers at that 4-hour support. Otherwise, pull back up, break current daily candles high, reject, start to close back below at 4-hour resistance, and that could be a sell option. Right now, I think you just need to let it create a move, because you're running straight into another support. You're breaking support here. You've got literally probably about 3 pips. You got 2 pips to the 4-hour resistance, and you got 4 pips to the M30 support. So I don't see it near a trade option right now. On to NAS quickly. We'll do the proper rundown. Weekly bearish, current weekly not much volume, could almost mark in the high of that, but looking at daily, That's an ugly. It's hard to know what to make of that candle. Closed back bearish, but open gap to the upside. Obviously, on this particular broker, Blackwell. Current daily. I'm gonna have to change this to a different broker, but anyway, I'll just keep it for the time being. So structure-wise, bullish. Counter probabilities. Well, current hasn't really done much. Be marking the high. See what's above that level. Below low is likely it's going to be sell options. That is this point here, but it looks for. So the 4 hour, again, it's in a area of consolidation. Technically, it is bearish. I'll be marking the highs. Be marking. Oh, just on the M30, but obviously that's the levels you're trading within just now. Is there anything between on 30 minute? There is. That resistance form within yesterday's candle. If price begins to break above it, then I see potential options for buys. I'll be putting buys above. Clean traffic to the left. Breaking resistance formed at the open of today's trading during the Asian session. So if it begins to break above it, seeing it's formed a low, it's formed a lower wick within the current daily candle, it's formed support, it begins to break above that resistance, it's likely heading up. Now as for the sellers, if we continue to reject that level, we form support just below it. Technically on the M30, we are still bearish. So if that is to be the case, we create a lower low, breaking this support, tap in, and I would definitely look for my sell options, come closer to MY if it did present. Simple on as anything between this level probably don't have the margin. You could potentially look for a buy for form support. Just got to be a clean move down and a nice solid bullish candle, whether it pop in the range below and needs to close back above. That could be an option moving forward. However, I think at this point it'd be sells below at 18126, buys above 18145. Sells once again if it does just bounce off this support, only to reject it again. It could break that previous the current daily candle's high, sorry, only to reject. If we remain below that 18145, I would also look for potential sell options as well. The bias is flipped, technically bearish on NAS, so that's what I'll be looking at on NAS. 30 minutes in. Anyway, focus back. At this point, looks like it'll be on GJ. Oh, not really doing much. Can see on the minute trader. Emil? Yes, I am, mate. Yep. I'm gonna turn the light off. Yeah, I've done a look of EU as well, guys. I think it looks cleaner, to be honest, than GJ and gold. Also, obviously GU. And just a matter of remaining patient, waiting for price to either, in my opinion, come back down to this support for the potential buy. Not sure why it's pulling up at this point here. It does have potential for it to come down to the support formed towards the end of yesterday's trading session. A couple hours into MY. Around lunchtime, New York session. However, it's pulling up now. It's got no lower wick. Pop straight up. So further buys upon continuation above the high. Could this be the current daily candle's low on that previous candle? Potentially. Now if we begin to break current daily candle's high yet again, clean traffic to the left, we should be alright for continuation buys on EU. So tomorrow and Thursday, guys, I'll be on normal time. I'll be on probably about 6:30 AM UK time. Might even start 6:20. I'll see. Try to get in early doors. Sure, God's popping. Yeah, it's trying. Yep. That's the case. This close is really strong bullish. Tempted almost to take a sell limit order back at the high of that bearish candle. It's not the most recent. We had the candle below it, below current candle. Is this the current daily candle? I mean, is this the support? Are we going to respect this level now? Wow. Wow. I mean, anyone for a buy stop? Anyone have a buy stop? Definitely not me. Yeah, she's Gonski. Not much you can do about that. Yeah. All good. Not my trade. I could not care less. Just one of those things that happens. Things pop, you can't get involved, in my opinion. Anyway, it's just consolidating below resistance. For me, that is just, yeah, very, very risky. Just leaving a buy stop above, because where's your stop loss? Would have been in for a fairly wide one. Definitely not for me. Is there going to be an option on gold? I mean, depends now what his 30-minute closes, but yeah, look, maybe the market's filtering some of the news that some of the FOMC members have been speaking about, but rumors. Also, a former FOMC member apparently is of the opinion that there may not be any rate cuts.
Fuck.
Good day, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I am just completely baffled about that run.
No idea where that come from. There must be some breaking news.
I will have a look on Financial Juice. That's another website that is good for...
that's a good one, actually. That's the one I used to use. I keep forgetting about
it. That one tends to have like a very quick impact of news. Financial Juice.
Yep.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, they tend to have a lot more about what's going on, rather than other than obviously Forex factories. A bit slow with it all.
Oh yeah.
I got a big gap also in the 15-minute on IC markets. I'm not sure if anyone else has that. The current candle is just open. Gap to the upside.
So there's nothing on Financial Juice that's made this commodity run. So I'm not too sure why. It's literally surging up. It could be the pre-news before FOMC, but that doesn't make any sense because FOMC is tomorrow.
Oh, CPI, you mean?
Oh yeah, CPI as well. Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
they're both tomorrow. You know, it doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense.
yeah, you do. Sorry, you're 100% right. FOMC. So, yeah, it could be the prelude to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna make it easier to find trades on gold right now. What can you do? What can you do?
Just let it ride.
Yep, let it do its thing.
That's all I say.
That's all you can really do. Let it do its thing. Potential limit orders is what I'll consider. But I want to wait and just see where this 30-minute close is at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like 30 minutes until 30-minute candle is done. And then, who knows, there might be a confirmation to take a buy, but I'm going to have to wait.
Yeah, potentially. Sean, all good, man. I'll be on it earlier, obviously tomorrow. A lot of the moves of late I've found have just come out of nowhere like that, which doesn't leave many options unless you're just literally a set forget trader, which would have been working decently for some at the moment, but it's not me. I can't do that. I need to be on the chart. Ben, morning to you, brother. I hope you're well. Watching gold pop out of nowhere at the open, absolutely flying. Hope you're all too, brother. Oh, mate, long one, that's for sure. Long day, mate. I come straight home and straight onto the computer. So how's that for commitment?
Mad.
Try to prepare for this, but I mean, how can you can have your levels you want to get involved, but how do you know it's going to make the move then and there?
You can't predict the outcome, as they say.
You cannot. All you can do is analyze and be prepared for what happens, but sometimes shit just goes to it's the fan like gold has just now, and there is not much you can do about it.
No, exactly that, mate.
Ben, dedication. That's right. Oh, look who it is. Miss Warrior Angel, how are you? I hope you're well. Counters quickly disappearing. It is. It is. So this is my my NAS buddy from that I coach, the lady I often refer to. Great to have you on stream. I know it's bloody early for you. You might be going back to bed for a while after quickly having a look. I've done some NAS analysis. I think I sent to you the time on WhatsApp, roughly. Branko, more into you. Ben? Yeah, that's true. That's it. Big up to Warrior Angel. Definitely come a long way. Very impressive. Yeah, so I'm considering limit orders. I just want to wait for the 30 minutes to confirm we're actually going to close above. And then I may look for that tap into that 2350. And I may just set that limit order at that point there, where I may, what I'm thinking is actually a little bit lower down, in case we do pull a little bit further down into this gray zone and then begin to form that support. So I'm thinking these wicks in between around that 2348.50. I may layer in, I may have a small entry at 2350 and then may have like the other half at 2348.50. I'll see how we go. How are you going this morning, Josh? You in anything or?
I've been to the gym this morning, and the gym I went, I've cancelled his membership for the last time. I am not happy with it.
You cancelled it?
Yeah. Well, I gone apply for a different gym membership just a few moments ago, just before I joined here.
Oh, okay.
Just because, firstly, the financial reason, and secondly, a lot of broken equipment are happening lately.
Oh, okay. That's not great.
Especially like showers and stuff. So I'm just like, you know what, I can't really deal with it.
You want to be comfortable?
No, and I went to the gym early hours this morning, and there was a group of kids in there. Like they must be like in their 21s or early 20s or whatever.
Yeah.
And they started prattling around in the gym. And I'm just like, I can't deal with that.
Yeah, we get them during the uni holidays and school holidays and public holidays and that, all the tradies and all that stuff.
Yeah,
some of their big groups. And
I do get it, but however, these type of kids, I've seen them like around 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning in the gym, and I praise their dedication, I really do. But
yeah,
when I literally came downstairs after the changing room, I'd see them goofing around. I'm just like, why am I in this gym?
Yeah,
you know,
it's not great, is it?
No, it's not. Other than that, the weather is wet and very cold.
Sounds like Melbourne.
Yeah.
Sounds exactly like Melbourne.
How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good. Other than just a bit rushed on a Tuesday. But even having said that, I still won't just force my way into a trade. I do the analysis, and it makes sense. I get involved. So
yeah,
that's all I can do. Right now, I need to wait for that pullback on gold. Yeah.
I think. Sorry, I think I just found out the reason why gold just flew. So, HSBC, which is one of the biggest banks, they book a 1 billion pre-tax loss on Argentina sale. Interest rates cuts hope are fading, apparently.
So that's been tied to gold. That's interesting.
Yeah. So
okay,
it's a safe haven for banks.
Yep.
And
okay. Safe haven for everyone.
The bank has gone completely like struggling with their pre-taxes.
Yep. Yeah, my opinion on the banks isn't a favorable one. Put it this way. I don't trust them.
I do wonder what GU is like, because with the UK's banks, they can be affected with it as well on GU.
Yeah. Well, A.C.T got banks pretty much everywhere. Branches. A lot of people have accounts with A.C.T. Yeah, good morning to you, Warrior Angel, once again. You got it? Nice one.
I definitely don't have a bank with HSBC, I'll tell you that, so I'm quite fortunate.
Oh, mate, the Aussie banks aren't much better. I don't think there is many good ones, to be honest, anyway.
Oh, I can imagine, especially with like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just savings rates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I suppose it's the same everywhere, but you try to go to a bank these days and try to withdraw a substantial amount of cash.
Yeah.
You need to have so many reasons for it. It's like it's because it's my money and I want it. Yeah, it's funny, there's this dude I've seen on TikTok, and he's hilarious. Like the excuses he comes up with, he goes, I just cheated my wife, so I need to buy a new ring, and found out about it. And then he's like, I need to get enlargement, my wife's not happy with my performance in bed. And he's full legit, like the way he says it, and the people look at him like they're not sure if they should laugh or if he's being serious.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's unreal. Like it's really funny. Should next time I see it, get the name of the dude, follow him.
Yeah, no.
And he's just trying to prove a point. Like, it's ridiculous. It's your money. You should be able to access it whenever you want to. Shouldn't need an excuse.
Well, they say it's your money, but they're actually using the money privately.
Yeah, well, they're investing every cent of your money. That's why you got to actually request it so they can order it in. they're loaning it out to the next person. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, well, the banks are using the money privately, and that's how the banks are still operating. And that's why people say cash is king as well.
I like cash. We had a big thing last week here in Oz where people are encouraged to withdraw money from the bank and pay in cash everywhere. People don't realize the fees they're paying when they're tapping away all the time. The banks are laughing all the way to the bank, pardon the pun, but they really are, because they're the ones that benefit from it all.
Yeah,
making record profits, and they're cutting staff, because you go into a branch these days here in Oz anyway, and there's hardly any teleservice. There is none. It's like all done through an ATM these days.
Yeah, it's the same here as well. Like, we've had tons of banks been closing, and you have seen like elderly people struggle.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Same here.
They're supposed to
Yep.
their money.
Exact same thing here. Alright, so I'm waiting on gold, guys. I'm waiting to see how this closes for a potential limit order. Risky. Limit orders are riskier because you're taking against the direction that you want to get involved, but you want to be in the trade. Well, in the direction that you're anticipating the trade will go in. So you're taking it, so it's forming bearish. In anticipation, will eventually bounce off and flip back bullish. That's what I'm seeing just now.
Depends on that 50% of the candle. Like, if it stays where it is 50%, it potentially you could take a buy, but you're gonna have to really be very smart with your lot size. Well,
the stop loss is going to be substantial. I mean,
yeah, precisely.
That's why I like it a little bit lower down, because you can get a tighter. It's still not a great stop loss, but you can get about 40 pips stop loss. This point here, you're looking at about 60.
Is that line, the white line for the buys above, is that 50% of that candle, I wonder?
It could be. It could just by coincidence be.
Yeah.
It's just above it. Just below it, sorry.
Oh, okay.
The other option is to let it tap in and buy it as it flips. In anticipation is going to end up retesting the high of that previous candle.
Which is potential.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the limit order at 2348.5. The stop loss below the current M30. Very tempted to take the earlier option, but I just don't know where I can place a stop loss unless, I mean, I'm not one for taking random stop losses, placing random stop losses. So I think I'm just gonna go for this wick high.
Yeah, I think that's probably the sensible one. I think that's like,
you can get a better stop loss at that point.
I think that's like 20 pip stop loss as well, right?
Yeah, it's still a little bit higher. Okay. Oops, there's the wrong thing. So option A is 2350.3, basically back on the high of that resistance. The issue with that is stop loss. You may just need to roll with a stop loss back below that zone. It's still going to be like a 45 pip stop loss. That is the first option. Second option is to wait for it to pull back a little bit lower down. You get a better stop loss. Pulling back more into this range to grab more liquidity. And I feel if we are continue bullish, we're likely going to obviously tap into that level is my anticipation and bounce off it. Now, is there any other option? Well, this candle was just open to the downside. Again, it's just a stop loss. Where do you get stop loss? I'm not keen on using the current candle as low as stop loss.
I would say maybe with the white line is perhaps that's likely to be the smartest option. Yeah,
I think this should get tapped into, so it may be worth taking small entry. I just don't know where to place the stop. I may have a wider stop, 2345.6.
Yeah, I think it depends on how much you're willing to lose on pip
Well,
wise.
obviously with magic keys I'll have that preset.
Yeah.
So what I would be doing is inputting risk and changing that. So what is the high of that candle, that resistance? 234995 on IC markets. But if this thing flips, then it's likely just to go. There we go. I don't want to create. Go on, man.
No, I was just gonna say that a smaller feeler of a lot, you're probably gonna be kicking yourself now because it looks like it could flip at this point.
Yeah. It's all good because that wasn't my plan. That was too late for me to come up with that, to be honest. That's all good. Not worried about that. Yeah, what I was going to say was I don't want to create much of an upward and then pull back because that would mean I'm not interested. I'd rather tag you in and then bounce straight away. Now it's just gone. So gonna remove that order. It's too, I'm not interested in it now. I have to wait and see how price reacts moving forward. That's it. Gonna turn my focus to GJ by the looks of it. Jin Damani, what time frame? Look, I usually my catalyst is on the M30 time frame. However, I do also use the 15 and 5 as confluence, but I mean I start at the weekly to see how the candle's forming against the previous, especially. Then I look at daily 4 hour or structure for some levels, obviously support resistance. The gray levels are the high time frame, so the 4 hour. The blue levels are M30 support and resistance, and that's the time frame I usually use as my time frame to execute a trade based off the 30-minute. Old. It's been no tap in.
Well,
not even on the 5.
I've taken a buy, and that was from just on that bottom wick that they just formatted.
Okay.
So I'm doing it a very small lot. I'm not going for like a standard lot. Just FYI for people that are curious. I'm only doing small feeler trades just because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, this is now the new 5 minute after the new 30-minute candle. Price could flip.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, that could be the move right now, and it could just stagnate, consolidate for a while. Yeah. Tech by Ellie, are you in? No, I was waiting for the pullback to tap in. It's waiting for it to tap into that resistance on as it was forming lower wick, and look for limit order sell buy. Sorry, just didn't quite obviously pull back enough. So now I'm just waiting on gold to form some more data, create some more data, and reassess, see what I can come up with. GJ is now likely to be the focus. Just needs to pop up, start coming, or retest the high of the current daily candle, preferably close above it. Otherwise, depending how close we close to it, could be potential impulse buys potential. Now this is the indice I was considering trading a while back during London session, and this thing moves And this thing looks good for a sell. Just looking at, has it tapped in? Let me look on a 5 minute. I want to just mark in this level. Let me look to see what's going on. But yep, perfect. This is really nice. So you got a few things here. You got 30 minute closing below. So that's a confirmation. It's a catalyst. It's closed below a support that was formed on the way up. Obviously you got daily. By the looks of it, not, well, it's forming bearish, not broken a lot previous, but you got 4 hour candle probabilities on your side. It's just broken a support. Within that 30 minute candle, they actually closed below the support. So you had not had that tap in on this candle, but within the catalyst candle on the 5 minute, you've had that pullback tap in and you're breaking it again. This is a trade I would look to take every day of the week on gold or GJ. Got pretty clean traffic to the left. Again, it's retested within that catalyst candle. Still got the closure below the M30. This looks good for potential sells on the E40, German 40. So again, for education, we learn while we wait. It's not always about trading. Trading requires a lot of patience and discipline. And I'll go through phases where I'll take 7, 8, usually max around 8 trades for the week. Sometimes a bit more, but usually not. And there'll be times I'll take 1 or 2 because the markets just haven't offered me a thing as per my plan. And it's important and for me to be aware of that and not force anything in between for the sake of it. Last week it was 1 trade. The week before it was 2, I think. But I said this before to I think I said it to you Franco. Sorry to use the example in this case. But because a lot of the people, the ladies and gentlemen that I coach have issues with over trading, so they take plenty of trades. Their win rate will be okay, but they're putting themselves under so much stress and anxiety because they're hard to control the emotions. And here's little old me, who I would take sometimes 10 trades for the month, but I'll win likely 7 or 8 of those. Likely, not always, sometimes 6 and a few break evens and a few losses, whatever. But my result will be better, even though I've traded a lot less, because I've got a decent, a good win rate. I've kept track of my emotions, traded less, but I've got the results that I wanted simply by waiting. So that's something I really recommend. I stress the importance. You don't always need to be involved in your trade. More trades doesn't mean more profit. That's a crock of shit. More trades means more risk on the table. You trade only when the boxes are ticked, only when you have your confirmation. Once you've done your analysis, you have your plan, you've said to yourself, what do I need to see in order to get involved in a trade? And if it ticks the box, that is the only time you can trade. Don't jump in on anything in between. That is the game changer for me. And I can't stress enough, that's what I recommend to everyone. Otherwise, I could justify trades left, right, and center. But my win rate would be a lot worse, I'm sure, because a lot of it's very impulsive entries. Yeah, on gold right now, I really want to pull back to tap into that support, the previous resistance, see if it forms the support, and then I'll assess my options.
It looks like price is going to range, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah, it looks like it could. That was likely to move, but it doesn't have to. Not necessarily, but it's trying to pop just now.
But I tell you, earlier before that big pop that actually happened, I was in a trade and I closed it figuring nothing was going to happen because it was ranging. It's where that the white line for the sell below area is that you've marked.
Just there.
Yeah, just right there. I was in a buy, and I literally closed it because I thought it's just price is going to consolidate.
Yeah,
I
it looked
just
like
thought,
it.
it's London, you know, there's not going to be much volume around it. Then bam, it just happened.
Yeah, it was just pop. But it happens. How can you predict that? How do you know? That's the thing. Amount of times it rejects,
Yeah, I mean,
you
it
just
did
don't
that
know.
yesterday. Think about it.
Yeah. You just need to wait for the confirmation. So it's only gold as far as majors. I mean, GU hasn't popped. AU hasn't really done much. EU's back where we started at the open. NAS, wouldn't be expecting all that much on it just now. What's the 40 done? Still not much. Still around the low of the previous candle. Will I trade MY this evening? Just depends how I feel, to be honest.
Yeah.
Depends. But it's definitely going to be volume coming into the markets, though, tomorrow with obviously CPI, FOMC. I'd be really ramping it up. Prior to that, I would not want to get involved. What do we got Friday? So Thursday, we also have some impact EU news. It's going to be a big one. Obviously, the monetary policy statement, followed by core PPI. Unemployment claims, that will also be another one. That'll be a huge one. Well, people claiming unemployment means less people in a job, obviously, so less money in the economy, which could mean less expenditure. Could mean inflation may come down, and therefore interest rates possibly could come down. That's just based off potential if the forecast is correct. But again, you've got so much more to come in between. You got CPI, so that's going to be, to me, that's the big one right now. All eyes on CPI and obviously FOMC, what is said. Most of this won't be on the charts though during FOMC. CPI, there'll be quite a few on the charts.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I don't trade during those days. I'm trying to stay away from news sessions now.
Oh, it's best, man.
Yeah, Tokyo has been quite interesting. I think I said to you yesterday that I made a heavy profit yesterday during Tokyo session, and I don't need to mess around for this.
Yeah, don't give it back.
No, absolutely not, bro.
Yeah, so Asian session is,
yeah,
I don't mind it, in all honesty. A lot of people say, oh no, it's Asian session, it's shit, there's no volume. And look at London session, man. Look at GJ and for the past God knows during London session. It's just consolidation. This is all consolidation. It only seems to get a move if there's news about it. So obviously there's high impact news for the pound on Friday with GDP. I'm pretty sure it is.
Bank of interest. I think it is about interest rates.
GDP. So that's gonna be huge. Once again, unfortunately, I'll actually miss that hearing, and I'll be on just after it though. Look out for the thumbnail that I specially designed for GDP. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Yes, I'll be in another suit, and no, that's not how I roll. It's all through a photo editor. Alright, you never see me wearing a suit, not unless it's essential. So guys, if anyone wants to jump on, like I mentioned, we do have a Zoom link. If you scroll up a little bit into the chat, it's not that many people chatting, so it wouldn't be that hard to find. You're welcome to come on. Just I allow you guys to jump on in good faith. So yeah, if you do something stupid, you get banned. Please behave. That's a photo editor. It's not like the actual clothing of that is. Like I've taken a photo just in my normal clothing and that, and it just, you go to it, I think it's called Photo Leap, pretty sure was the software I used. And it's got different animations and you just click which one and that's what I come up with. So that's the actual photo, but I was obviously in my plain clothes. And when I chucked a suit on, that's what it looked like. I was actually scrub up okay. Yeah. I've started donning a suit more often. Not sure where I wear it though.
Photo actually.
What's that?
I thought it was a Photoshop photo.
No, it's not. It's all through. I mean, the actual action photo is, but not the. Yeah, it's not my suit or anything. So maybe I have to start streaming in a suit, not the birthday one.
Oh no.
Suit quickly get banned on YouTube. Could be interesting. That could be an OnlyFans stream. I love it. Suits are for weddings and funerals. Oh yes, 100%. That's the main thing, and I don't go to any of those that frequently. Probably a good thing. I'm wearing a sports sort of blazer with jeans or something. Done that in the past, but not sure about rocking the full suit. What's that, mate?
I was about to say, unless you work at home, you just wear a top suit and then just
that's it, and shorts. Or trackies or whatever underneath.
All that. Yeah.
Problem is, what happens when I get up to go to look and you guys? I suppose I could just turn the camera off. That's a point of difference. I might start streaming in a suit. How's that sound? Make myself look a lot more intelligent than what I actually am.
Yeah.
Can look the part. That's it.
That's legit, man.
That's it. Kian, what's your prediction price for today? Do you think New York session is going to be bearish after hitting another all-time high? For me, I have no predictions. I just go off my analysis, and my analysis to me suggests that at this point, seeing we've broken the resistance formed just below the previous daily candle, and we've also broken the previous daily candle. At this rate, I think we will continue bullish as long as any pullback is met by support. So where could we potentially pull back to? Obviously, I let this thing make its move just now. I'm not all that interested in chasing it. That was the move pretty much, and very impulsive. Pull back to that 2,350, form support above that level, and I'd be happy to look for potential buy options. If we consolidate this point here and then maybe later on, maybe in a new 4 hour, we create high, low, higher, high, start to pop back above the current daily candle's high. That could also be a potential option to buy it. Now, if we pop down to this support where I have sales below, and it gives me my calcium price action, that could also be a level to buy. Reason means because we cut through these wicks, this resistance, we've cut through the resistance a little bit higher to the left. Made a clean move up, we make that clean move down. I'm just looking for support to form. Now, having said that, counter trend sells are very, very risky. So I want it to be perfect. So this, wherever it makes its move and wherever it stops, so closures, pulls back down. And I'm not getting involved in that initial pullback, because what I want to see it do is potentially form at higher low, lower high, lower low, start to flip the micro trend, start to pop below that previous daily candle's high. Because if we do so, form a resistance just above it and then form a support below it and start breaking and closing below that support formed below the previous daily candle's high, that may just give me a very cheeky little counter trend option, take it back down to the resistance that I want price to retest at 2,350. So that could be a potential option. So I mean, right now the plan to me is to look for buys. So I am bullish, obviously. That means I anticipate it may continue bullish, but I'm ready for anything. You just need a plan, as per the name of this stream. Analyze, confirm, and trade. That's what you do. That's what it stands for, ACT, and that's how I roll.
Well, I'm actually doing not too bad on this trade that I've mentioned I'm on.
Yeah, it's flying now.
Yeah.
Flying. I'd be definitely considering securing something or getting nothing else get to break even. Kia, great simple analysis, mate. A lot of people making it too complicated for new traders like myself. All good. I appreciate it. Nice question, and I appreciate the compliment. So yeah, so I just keep it simple. I don't want to get involved in much in between if my plan the criteria is not met. So I just wait. Patience is bloody tough in this game. It is so hard to sit. It's easier when you're doing it within a group because you can talk shit and laugh and have a bit of fun while you wait. But yeah, just be great to have you come to these streams regularly, and you'll learn a lot. Honestly, definitely a lot about patience. Definitely a lot about not needing to be involved always, but being involved when it suits you. So when it will suit you is when your analysis is met. When the plan is playing out. And right now gold is just,
it's pushing. It's
yep.
I think 23.56 is that psychological area, but it's trying to push.
Yep, it's trying to.
Yeah, I'm literally watching it on the 5-minute time frame.
Yeah,
I can see it popping, man. It's gonna.
Yeah, I can see it popping too, but I just, from the way I trade my analysis, that was my entry. Had it pulled back to right. Tag me in on that limit order.
Yeah, that's right.
So once again, I think GJ is going to be my focus. Just need to wait and see if it can actually make the move. So there's what, 6 minutes left of this hourly. The hourly is okay. So this candle, if it does close up near its high, what it's done is it's tapped into a level of support formed on the way up, so it's likely grabbed some liquidity from the downside. However, it's still trading below the resistance formed at the daily high, so I really prefer to see price begin to pop above it, reassess my options if it begins to break. Just depends how far it's come away from come from, but likely it's going to require some closures, likely above that level, because we're constantly rejecting. We're below, or we're around that 20 level. It depends, because when I first started trading, I know some use the 20, 50, 80s as and the whole numbers as the psychological numbers. When I first started trading, it was the quarter numbers, 25, 50, 75, as the numbers that a lot of the algorithms are set to have trades at. So it's really making that what you will. Wow, gold popping in. I've heard I have hard time buying at all-time highs. I understand, but I think we've spoken about this. If we consolidate, but look, I prefer to pull back, tap in, and then if it just flies and then approaches the high yet again, it starts to pop above that, we can be more confidence. But there is no need for it to, no reason for it not to continue bullish and create a higher high. It's in a massive uptrend. So if it does just consolidate now and then come close to when you do trades, I know it's a few hours away from now, consolidates and then shows signs where it's starting to break this consolidation. So you have a bit of the price action forming to the upside, high lows, high highs, closure above the consolidation, tap in, pull away, correlate it with like a 4 hour, creating a high low, higher high. By the time you come to the charts, there's still another, what, this 4 hour candle to close and one more. You may get that option that could present. However, I really would prefer if it did pull back to tap into that zone. There is an hour, just over an hour left of this 4 hour, so it could be back that this current 4 hour close a strong candle, new candle could pull back to create that lower wick, tap into that resistance, previous level, previous 30-minute resistance, grabbing that liquidity and off to the upside once it forms that support.
I think personally, just wait for the price to do its thing. Like,
but is that more 100%? That's what you need to do right now.
I mean, up to 9 o'clock in London, UK time, right? And we've still got like another 12 hours of the market.
Yeah,
there's going to be an opportunity at some point.
Oh, there's definitely, especially in 10Y, there's going to be something eventually. It's just a matter of whether you're on the chart or not, or likely, not always, but likely there'll be something that eventuates. Kian, definitely sticking around. I've blown 2 accounts, being very stupid with risk management, not taking profits when they are given to me. I mean, more disciplined with this account now. Good to hear, because it often takes, I mean, we were speaking about this yesterday, blowing accounts, we were speaking about it last week. I've blown at least 4, I think 3 or 4. I've been training for more than 7 years, coming up to around 8 years now. The first 4 years was exactly that, just stupidity. Could not control my emotions, would have a nice trade and think, all right, well, done it once, gonna do it again, double up and blow it a whole lot. Like, I've done all this stupid shit and I knew I understood it. My win rate was good, but I just did stupid shit for over leveraging and that. And it just came down to following my plan, following my rules, and actually having some solid rules, not just of the day on a particular pair, but away from the chart, like what to do of the day as far as how much I'm going to risk, how many trades I'm going to take max, what pairs I'm going to trade, what hours I'm going to be looking at the charts, and so on and so forth. So that again helped massively. So as tedious as it sounds, it's important to have a trade plan. It really is. It doesn't have to be a long one, just something that you know in mind, it's ingrained into my head. I know exactly what I'm to do of a day, how I'm going to approach the charts, what works for me. Then it's a matter of patience. Do your analysis and wait. GJ right now is just shit. Absolute shit fight. Gold in the analysis was correct, above this resistance. Doesn't always mean it gives you the option and accordance to your plan, and this did not. So I reassess, and I did reassess. I was looking for the limit order. Unfortunately, did not pull back. It still may pull back, but I've removed that limit order because that limit order needs to take place, in my opinion, on the following candle. Well, while the volume is still there, in anticipation that the new candle, whilst we've still got the volume in the market after that M30 catalyst, the new candle is just going to pull down, create that lower wick. I was looking at option A, small entry at this resistance, and option B, small entry upon the pullback to this level. Obviously I never did that and it flipped, so that's just me. I assessed, now I have to reassess because the option did not present. We got the closure of the hourly candle, so gold not at a level of resistance for me to sell it if it popped up, that new entry that I take. So it's not going to happen. Not a level for me to buy it. GJ closed below resistance, and it's a matter of patience. It's not at that level for me to sell it as well. So discipline is key.
Just going back to this, coming from Kieran, I think we discussed about this yesterday, Justin, about risk management and how people to be psychologically be more aware of their loss sizes and what they're taking, or if they're FOMOing, or they are holding their trades until to the point they have got no more margin. You are setting yourself to fail if you put yourself in that position. Now, I am not saying nobody deserves to set up to fail, but it's a human nature. Like, we as humans have these type of emotions where we are self-doubt and we don't want to disbelieve ourselves enough, thinking our plan is gonna like not go into our ways. We're always gonna, so what's the one I'm looking for? Just basically driving up to think we have the ego to say it's gonna flip, it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. Gonna be a profit, candle. It's it's really hard, especially for new traders, you know, and this is why retail traders are struggling to get the idea of what trading is actually like.
Big time.
Unless you've been for like years with experience.
Yeah, you need to you respect the charts. Obviously, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, and when it makes moves, doesn't mean you don't sit there and shit, I'm not involved. You're not always going to be able to get involved. But also, one thing is, I think a bit of a killer is self-doubt, not trusting yourself. So you could be overconfident, but you could also, I went through that phase as well, where I doubted my analysis, didn't execute. At that point, the reason was because I was trading too big of an account. I wasn't used to it at that point. I had to take a step back. I recognize that was my issue. Trading a significantly large account at that point, and I just wasn't ready for it. I was, yeah, it looks good, but I was finding reasons why I shouldn't take it. Whereas that's what you shouldn't be doing. If it fits in with your initial analysis and you get your trigger, you should be taking it every day of the week. Just make sure you're managing, as Josh said, make sure you're not over leveraging. You've got proper lot sizes, risk management. I wasn't over leveraging, but it was just an account I wasn't used to at that point. So I took a step back. Since I've traded bigger, and it's no issue. I've traded smaller, traded all different size accounts, in all honesty. And now what I've realized is just trust yourself, do your analysis, have a plan, execute. Simple. Or don't execute if it doesn't get ticked off. That's it. Doesn't matter, big, small, demo, whatever it is. That's what I suggest to anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've came to the point where for the past 5 years of my experience, again, we mentioned about how the early years of our trading, we obviously blow our accounts and not have the doubt in our minds. You know,
yep.
we self-doubt ourselves quite a lot when we learn new things as a human being, you know, whether it's to become like a mechanic or try to be a plumber or trying to be like a Forex trader or stuff like that. You know, you're going to be thinking you can do things so much better compared to other people, but you don't realize that you're against the institutions, you're against the banks.
Yeah, you're against everyone, to be honest.
Yeah. So the best thing to do is let the institutions and the bankers be doing their own thing and just come second place. That's the psychological mindset you need to have. Yeah,
it's this, for instance, on this gold move.
Yeah.
How you can predict that, I have no idea. And I'm sure some people probably had a buy stop order. Some probably had buys at this point. For whatever reason, as long as it ticked the box, then that's fine. But for me, it didn't, so it just means I patiently wait. I have to miss it. I don't get FOMO. I don't, alright, stuff it. I'm just gonna buy it now because it's moved. I used to do stupid shit like that. I've done it all. Honestly, I've seen a candle form like this and said to myself, right, let it pull back, buy. Not even thinking about stop loss, not even thinking about what lot size I was using or nothing at the time, and then like, oh shit. That's a lot. I'm like, all right, close it. After it moved like 2 pips in profit. I did all that stupid shit because I wasn't ready and I wasn't training the plan. I was just training out of pure emotion back then. Pure emotion. A nervous wreck, sweating buckets while I was training, honestly. It's the worst feeling. You don't want to sit in a charts training that way. Trust me, it's.
And you don't really want to sit on the charts for like the whole day.
Nah, not hours and hours on end.
And then, you know, once it goes out of your hands, you're just going to kick yourself. You spent all these hours waiting for something, and, you know, you just going to go and over risk yourself just with the fact that, you know, it could just go the wrong direction.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to be smart, better, you know.
Turn the light back on, guys. If you could also, by the way, if you're enjoying the chat while we wait, could hit that like button, be much appreciated.
Like and subscribe, all the goodness.
100% like and subscribe. I know some of the viewers aren't subscribing. I've checked the analytics. yesterday was our biggest day of newly subscribed people at 13, which was good. But yeah, I'm here daily, guys. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I start no later than 6:30 a.m. UK time. Tuesdays and Friday, it's a bit sort of just depends. It'll be before London open. It could be 30 minutes before, it could be 45 minutes before it. It just depends, to be honest. Because I do have a business also in the background, which requires attention on those days more so than the others. But this is my passion.
Around that price action, it's definitely dancing between 23.52 and 23.54 ish.
What is that? 23.56.
No, so 23.52 and 23.54.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, you cut out the last second.
Yeah, oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's definitely dancing around that price. So if anyone's in that trade, which I know I'm in it, but I'm on a smaller lot size, just be careful because you could be in a range.
Yeah, it could get stuck in a bit of consolidation just now, potentially, until the open new 4 hour. Which
and what? Sorry,
I was just gonna say, often people say it's the dead time and it's not much volume, but I often find the new 4 hour count on the first 15 or so minutes. Wow, that can move. That can move as it creates a wick in whatever direction, whether it's the PD upside, only for it to eventually come back down and end up closing, well, not necessarily closing bearish, but pulling back to grab that liquidity, create low wick, or whether it's to the downside to create low wick to grab liquidity before it pops back up again. But I often find the first 15 minutes or so of the new 4 hour candle does make some pretty big moves.
Yeah, it does. And what I was just going to mention is what people tend to do as well. They trade during the range instead of like a proper analysis of a direction where it's going to go from like a price formation or a price pattern or anything like that. They try and trade in the range, and if it goes one direction and you're losing money, you obviously exit. Then you try to go the other way, and then it goes the other way around. And you just want perfect confirmation. You don't want to put yourself in a trap.
It's easier to do once you get stuck in consolidation. There's nothing wrong with trading a range, but right now this is just consolidation. If you go down to the 15, go down to the 5 more so. That's tricky. Trading consolidation is very tricky. Trading a range is okay as long as it's clean.
If it is, then yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah, often ranges aren't clean. That's why we say also is range holds priority. So if you're in a trade within a range, get to break even quickly. Don't be greedy. Yes, it can be rewarding selling the highs, but how do you know it's going to just go all the way back down to the support there? For instance, on GJ here, in between, you've got this level. You got that level. You got 2 levels before it could potentially come back down towards the current daily candles low. Those are levels that you say to yourself, right, maybe I'm getting to break even and taps into the first level. Maybe I'm going to start securing if it's enough. If you're happy enough with what profit there is at that point, I don't give a shit if it's 10, 15, 8, whatever pips it is. If you're happy with what you got and it's done what you anticipate it will do, so pull back to that support, consider taking something off the table, getting to break even. Leave a bit because it could then head down to the next support. You might say I'm locking up a little bit more, leaving a little bit for it to get to that support, or just trail your stop loss. That's how I go about managing it, to be honest. I'm not so much where you have to secure 10 each time or 12 or 15. Each trade is an individual trade. They differ from the next. Some will give you more margin than others. Some will give you a better risk to reward than others. So not that risk to reward is a really important thing, in my opinion. As long as you don't have a massive stop loss and you're only going to look for 10 pips, for instance, because that will mean you're gonna have a tiny lot size if you're practicing proper risk management. You can do it if you like. I just, yeah, I'm not a big fan of having like a 60 pip stop loss and looking for 10 pips, especially if you got resistance to the left at around 10 pips. It's not really my cup of tea.
Risk management needs to be like 1-to-1 or 1-to-4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Just gotta make sure you just have the perfect lot sizes. And sometimes if you have the smaller lot size, if it goes your way, you're actually going to be in very heavy profit. I've done that so many times.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, for sure.
Instead of overlotting your sizes, you know, it can be very rewarding.
Yeah, 100%. I've had some very small runners going that have been really rewarding at times.
Yeah, my best ones are like the 0.3 and 0.5. So
yeah,
that's kind of like my rule anyway. Stick to around that price loss sizes anyway. And I'm telling you, man, you get some good profits and good pip captures if you have a very good execution of that trade.
Yeah, you definitely can. Definitely can. Why have I lost you? Sorry, guys. I use multiple charts because I send markups on nearly every day of the week to guys that I coach. FX here. Nope. Anyway, I'll do for now. Do you not at a trade level for me? Just consolidating at this support to deal with to the left. At this resistance that we formed. Pretty London. I feel options either side of that at this stage on GU are probably the best way to go about it. Very similar to EU. But right now, we're just consolidating within the middle of the range. So preferably, if I want to get involved in this range, I want to either buy support, sell resistance, buy upon continuation, sell upon continuation below. That's how I see this right now. Where it's at is a no trade area. EU, so EU's basically tapped into it. I mean, it's the 4 hour a bit deeper. No, there's no 4 hour level. But it's right back in the middle again. So, I mean, EU is likely just to wait for closure below at this stage, or a retest of the high for rejection to sell it, or pop above for continuation and buy it. Essentially backing consolidation on EU. Not really the best level to trade at right now. Eventually made the move, so the analysis was correct again. And that would have been enough to secure, or definitely would have been break even by then. Around 18 pips.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. Good to see analysis play out. And if you missed it, I mean, you could rewind the stream. Can't remember exactly what point I mentioned it, but that's that move. So once it broke, looks like it would have been a pretty straightforward to TP1. Good to see analysis play out, just not on the pair I trade, not on GJ or gold. So
no, I used to trade DAX, German V, and
yeah.
Used to. It's not bad of a pair, but it can be sometimes terrible at the same time.
It's usually good around this time of day. Obviously, in EU Open.
That's right. Yeah. The only pairs I trade at the moment is Bitcoin and gold.
Yep. Interesting. Not for the faint of heart.
Oh yeah, I mean the way it's going at the moment. I mean, there's no reason why you can't trade Bitcoin. It's kind of like as for the past couple of weeks, it has been trading the same way as gold has been trading, reaching like all-time highs and stuff like that. But at the moment, Bitcoin is not following the same suit. It's like 69k at the moment, so it's having like a little bit of a dip. compared to what it had yesterday.
Yeah, I still think it's looking good for a continuation to the upside. I'd be focused now on 68.80.
Yep.
Want price to remain above that level. If it is to continue bullish, I think it would be a good option.
Yeah, that's right.
Even on the M30. I mean, form some consolidation if you have a similar sort of signal in price action on the pullback now. Bit of consolidation and starts to pop above it.
And I think if I remember correctly, next week
That's your option
for Bitcoin. So if people are trading Bitcoin, they need to be careful.
Yep. Gonna be interesting.
I think it's like next week on Friday. I think.
Okay.
The 19th.
Warrior Angel, Nas tapped into 4-hour rejected. Did it just? Yeah, so it's bouncing off it. And it rejected that level. So similar to gold, it just dumped. Me, it's very hard to get involved. The analysis is correct below that support. It's just very impulsive. Was there a 15-minute? No, so it just melted. And now it's bouncing off it so far. So that's okay. If this was NY, close to NY, not into London session, what I'd be looking for now on AS is some sort of a resistance to form. So the M30 is going to close strong bullish. What I mean by that is for resistance, I mean, what I want to see is minimum on the next 15 minutes, first 15 minutes of the next candle. I'd like it to close back weak bearish, or bearish, preferably a weaker candle. Bit of a wick to the downside. Forming that resistance, still got that catalyst of the previous 30 closing a strong bullish candle. Then what you're looking for is the second 15 minutes of new M30. Once again, create a bit of a low wick, begin to break above that resistance. You're breaking what will be the previous M30 candles high, also breaking that minor resistance. It's likely to continue bullish, obviously, to the upside. That's what I'd be looking at. You're at a level where you could potentially look to buy right now. That's what I'd like to see if it were me, and if it were closer to MY. But as Warrior Angel knows, we don't trade this time of day. There's nothing wrong with trading it if that's your plan, but for me, I would not personally trust it.
Did you take any trades like on New York yesterday, Justin?
No, mate, I did the update video and I switched off.
Oh, nice.
I didn't even bother because, again, I don't feel a need to always be on the charts.
No.
So if I want to trade MY, I can trade it, but I can't bother. And last night I knew I had to be up early in the morning today, so no, wasn't gonna bother.
That's right.
How about yourself?
I had like a trade, but it was not like a massive trade. I kind of closed it after it got like 10 pips or whatever. I just thought to myself, I just have the weekend, not the weekend, the evening for myself, really. Sometimes we just get in the habit of trying to stay on the charts for like endless amounts of times, but then I think if you have a plan where you stay on the charts for like, I don't know, 3 to 4 hours maximum, I think that's a fair idea of a plan.
Yeah.
You know, unless you do a trade in New York, London, for example, and if it goes right, you can go on New York and see what it looks like, but don't force yourself, you know, unless you actually want to do something. But just if you really are that desperate.
No, because that just leads to bad things, bad habits, over trading and all that, triggering emotions, because you sat in front of the PC for 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, or whatever it is, 6 hours, and you feel justified only if you take a trade. So this is more an escape. To be honest, if I'm not streaming, and I was trying like at the start of this year when I did some update videos, but I wasn't streaming live, I spent maybe an hour or so of a day. I look at the charts and nah, shit. I'll come back maybe in 2 hours time to see it's nah, still shit. Like nah, stuff it, not bothering. Because again, I don't want to sit there if it's nowhere near a level. I can maybe set an alert, but I'm not so fast. Like I don't have to, if I miss the trade, I'm not bothered. I've gotten over that motion of not being involved all the time. But yeah, but if it's near a level, I know, all right, pay attention. Pay attention. It could be options in today for London session or whatever. That's what I did, and the results were fantastic.
Would you leave like
Thank you for the sub.
On price actions to show to like, for example, to wait for like a price to come to your way, or would you still be like, no, just leave it, just come back tomorrow and, you know, just start fresh again?
Sorry, say start again. I missed it.
Okay, sorry. So there are some traders that will like set alarms.
Yep.
On like specific price actions.
Correct.
Would you be somebody that wants to leave alarms, or would you say if it doesn't go your way, be like, nah, stuff it, just come back tomorrow, start fresh?
Yeah, I would, to be honest, occasionally do it, but that's if I'm, you know, got the PC on or whatever. I'm, you know, watching I like basketball, the NBA, so if I'm watching that in the background and I'm waiting and waiting. However, I don't really recommend it. Yeah, I'd rather just call it and come back tomorrow. If it doesn't happen while you're on the chart, just say yourself, right, it's not during my time that I give myself to trade. So be it. It may make the move and you're not in it, but it doesn't matter. The next day is obviously a new day. You reassess, you may get your option there, and you'll feel so good about it, knowing you can control your emotions, knowing that you can miss out on a move, not needing to be involved in every single move, every single time the charts fly or dump or whatever. So I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. Yeah, I'd just say if you're on the chart, you're trading, you're actively trading. If it presents, fantastic. If not, come back the next day. That's what I recommend personally.
Yeah. Best way to go for a month.
Yep. And also it depends what day you've had, because trading can be drive you nuts as well if you had not had a good day. And you know, for me, trading is evening on a session. So if I've had a long day and I feel tired and emotional from it, and I know not be arsing on a chart, it's important to recognize that. Sorry about flicking every second, guys. Go on, mate.
It's kind of like the same with, let's just say you had the biggest news that just came out. Like, obviously, you know, the big four news is obviously FOMC, CPI, PPI, and then you've got NFP. And there are going to be people out there that just want to, I don't know, put more money into their accounts when they be like, I blew my account. And then you're just going to get frustrated. Then your emotions come over you. And, you know, you do it again and you do it again. And then you just lose your common sense to replicate the idea that it's not worth it, you know.
Yeah, well, everything goes out the window.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Once again, I've done that before.
Yeah, I think I've done it a few times. I'm not going to deny it, but yeah, it's a very good feeler when you actually improve your emotions and your psychology.
Yeah.
From the early days to like now, you're kind of like experienced and you've been training for like many years. You know, and you look back at yourself, you'd be thinking, wow, I used to do that shit, and now I don't do that shit anymore.
Used to do all that shit, all of it.
Yeah.
See gold on my MetaTrader trying to pop.
Yeah, I'm still in that trade, and it's not too bad. I've definitely not exited that trade yet, and it's crazy.
Yeah,
especially if you look at 1 minute, it's just I sometimes trade on the 1 minute, but that's because I've kind of learned from it. And if you have the right patience, you can actually do it. But I
wouldn't recommend it though. Not to sign you. It's just gonna. It's too much data, too much information. It's gonna confuse the shit out of you.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But looks very nice. It could be a very possible buy, but gonna have to wait for like another 4 minutes to see what the new half-an-hour candle is like.
Yeah, it's coming close to the closure of the 4-hour as well. Emoda, Boy Francis, welcome. At the moment, looking at gold here. I always look at GJ, it's unfair trade. I do analyze GU, EU most of the time. NAS, pretty much any pair if anyone has a request. But as far as what I trade, basically GJ during the London session, gold if it presents, just trying to. There's this little, but again, what's the stop loss? It's the problem. The stop losses are huge.
You might have to go even like a very lower time frame to find a stop loss.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not for me though. It's not how I roll. But I do have a little confirmation on a very impulsive entry. It does tick the box. It's just the stop loss.
Maybe the last 3 weeks, perhaps. It's going to give you that little bit of space.
Stop loss is the swing point of 5 minute is even 50. No, what I'm talking about, 60. And it's breaking just now.
All-time high.
Is the limit order?
Jeez. We're witnessing history once again.
Yeah, for the second time during the stream.
I shit you not. I looked at the Financial Times newspaper. I think it was like a couple of days ago at work, and at one point gold was at, I don't know, 1980 or maybe 2020, and look where we are now. It's a completely big flip after a couple of months.
Mate, I remember when it was at 1100.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's mad.
Well, even lower, I remember.
I remember the 1975 area, I think. And then it just literally just came back up after that, and wow, it just never came back down ever since.
Alright, gold above the high upon continuation. The stop loss will be 33. Still looking at 45 pips based off the 15-minute 40. Yeah, 45. That's the option, guys. I've got another confirmation based on the 5-minute for an entry. How is it going to close? No, I want it to close strong.
50 pips. That's not too bad for me.
All right, low wick. It could be a buy option. Very small risk because it's impulsive. You got a bit of a catalyst just there, the closure above the resistance. Want it to form a bit of a low wick though.
Or it could start shooting up.
It could just start shooting up. But I want it to form a low wick, and I really want it to trigger very early because it's coming to the closure of the 4-hour as well.
But if you look on the 5-minute, it needs to come a bit more lower, at least around the 23.54 area.
Potentially, I want it to create that low wick.
That could be a good wick, and then just let it flip.
But again, I want it to happen soon. I don't want to drag on because then I'd be concerned that the 4-hour will leave an upper wick and it could pull back a bit to leave that upper wick.
Yeah.
How did GJ close? Right back in consolidation. Not enough of a low wick in my opinion.
No, and I feel like it's gonna push.
That's fine.
I don't want to obviously blow it, but you know, it can happen.
The reason why I want low wick is that would give me ways to manage the trade as well. To get triggered in high, low, high, high, you should not pull back and break your own low. So you could almost drag your stop loss to that point, and that's cutting the risk by more than half at that point.
That's always a good way, especially you know how much you're willing to lose on pips wise. If it comes down like a point where it can come down to like 20 pips off a wick, then you go, that's 20 pips there.
Exactly. Well, you can cut, for me, I can cut the stop loss by more than half at that point.
Yeah.
So I want it to pull back. I really want to create a decent low wick before I consider it. And it has to happen soon.
But let's just say hypothetical, if it does give you that entry, where would your TPP?
I just keep as per the plan. So I secure anywhere above 10 on gold.
Okay.
15, 20 pips. So I'd be probably, these counts have a fair bit of volume, so I'm probably looking at about 15 as the first TP.
Sure.
But I mean, right now it's not pulled back enough, and it could just go. It's broken by the looks of it.
Not much at the moment. Not much.
Not by much, but it actually has broken. So just go.
My TP, and this is only for me, is going to be up 23.70, but that's because I just want to see something crazy for the all-time high sake. If it goes there and it comes back down after that, then you know that's going to be like a new resistance area to mark as well. So it gives a bit more space for the sellers to, I don't know.
There it goes.
Off. Oh man. Oh dear.
Yeah, so there goes that idea. That's all good. Again, discipline, patience. Not sure if we quite would have got you 10.
Not too bad for me though. Not too bad.
DJ is just not interested.
That's GJ out the window for the day, I think.
So that's just trying to plan, guys. If it means that you're not in a trade, it's fine. It just means you're reassessing it. All good. Trust me, this is, you guys probably sitting there thinking, man, how can you not, like, don't you just want to buy it? Don't you want to just trade? Or you're so much better for it if you just stick to your plan. Honestly, you're so much better for it, because you learn not to get FOMO, you learn not to give a shit. Your analysis will be correct, but you're not always going to get the move.
But sometimes if you know your self-analysis, then at least you're not self-doubting yourself. You actually know your plan and you know your bias. So at least you can always take that to the next day and say, you know, you improved your knowledge and you know your...
Yeah, you can recognize, exactly, you recognize maybe a new, something that occurs regularly.
Yeah.
So that's all good for me now. It's, wow, need to wait. Need to wait for new fire. Now it could pull back to tap into that previous daily high. I'd want it to create a significant lower wick and form a support and look to buy it from lower down. That's what I'd be wanting, with potential buys above on continuation come closer to MY. That's what I'd be looking at if it were me personally. Yeah, right now, been not just into the box. Yeah, so I wouldn't be chasing just now. You've got 23 minutes until NY open. GJ is absolutely rank. Has no idea what it wants to do. The analysis will remain the same on GJ though. Either buys from this support, sells below the current daily candle's low for breaks and closes below it, or buys above the high upon continuation. Now the other option could be, let's just say we start to approach these highs yet again. Nice clean move up. We start to weaken, form a bit of support up to this level. Maybe on the 15-minute, so support be confirmed after we've got a candle closing back bearish followed by another one closing back bullish. There's this support like so. Within it, you may have a doji candle or weak bearish closure, and then once you get that lower high, lower low, could be a potential sell option from selling it up a little bit higher, potentially. Now my new entry type could also be an option, but that is risky for those of you who don't know it, so I wouldn't really recommend it. But so far so good, it's been working an absolute treat. So that's basically waiting for price to pop up to this level, new counts open up and just fly straight up. Looking to the left to see a target for it to tap into, selling it as it taps into that target in anticipation of flip, come back down, flip the candle back bearish, end up back in that range below. Works well at a high time of volume, works really well, but very impulsive, so just be very careful. I will not be trading it if you don't understand it. If you want to know what I'm talking about, have a watch of the recap video from 2 weeks ago roughly, from last Sunday week, not this last Sunday, the Sunday prior to it. That will explain that entry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just pushed.
Yeah, goal.
Yeah,
it's continuing. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys, because I'm gonna get my entry in goal. Yeah, it's all good. I was gonna say unfortunate, but it's not unfortunate. It just stuck to the plan. Plan didn't give me my option. It's another good day of discipline and patience. Once again, guys, just before you go, if you could hit the like button, and as far as the Discord, that will be opening up very soon. I've had a few people ask me about it, so hopefully that'll be opening up maybe some point next week or right towards the end of this month. It will be for free for the time being anyway, so you guys will get access to that, and I will do some private NY live sessions likely as well, maybe even an Asian session for those of you who are up. Yeah, so if you hit like button way out, that'd be much appreciated. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the services I provide, links are down below. If you want to just say g'day, guys, give me a follow on IG, send me a message, say hello. I mean, Josh did it, a lot of the guys do it. I always reply. I'm happy to chat to you guys. I'm not, you know, above or below any of you. We're all equal here, so do feel free to reach out. Josh, enjoy your day, brother. Thank you for joining.
no problem.
Yeah, and I'll do an MY update video, so look out for that, guys. Have a watch of it, leave a like, and cheers. I shall see you guys tomorrow, and again, beyond early tomorrow, about 6:30, 6:20 a.m. roughly UK time. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to a good session. Until then, cheers. Bye for now.